Hello and welcome to WordCamp Europe Insights podcast. My name is Kasia Janoska. I am WordCamp Europe 2026 organizer, and my guest today is...
It's Piermario Orecchioni from the speakers team.
Hi!
Hi!
Nice to see you here. Thank you very much for agreeing to join this episode, especially that, as you know, this is WordCamp Dragons, which means we take inspiration from a Wawel dragon. This is a malicious beast from Krakow. And as you can imagine, dragons aren't very nice creatures. Sometimes they might be a little bit rude, and definitely they know nothing about WordCamps. So the questions might be a little bit silly, they might be a little bit rude. So, how is the agenda going? Tell me, will I see anything interesting this year?
Oh, we definitely hope so. We've been working hard for a couple of months already on the selection of speakers. Basically, the program is ready. We did our best to make it interesting, make it varied, and make it something that can be enjoyed by WordCamp Europe attendees on really all levels.
Okay, so do we have any kind of a theme this year, or maybe more presentations on one topic and less on the other? How does it work this year?
Well, this year, I would say it works almost the same every year, but it really depends on the application that come in. So it's really the application that make a WordCamp. So it's an interesting but eventually painful project just because the work of a speakers team is all fun and giggles until you have to really select and leave out great speakers. So that's really the hardest part. So something that it's going to be, I would say, special about WordCamp Europe in Krakow is that on day 2, the whole morning in track 2 is going to be dedicated to what we call the education track. Basically, it's something that was built around the WP credits program and all the the programs that have been going on between the WordPress community and universities and school. And we're going to have some guests coming very close to Krakow.
So should it be for the teachers or for the students or newbies in the WordPress world?
It's really, I would say, as we said earlier, I think it's going to be interesting for everybody, I dare to say, because it's interesting for mentors and teachers. It's interesting for students. It's interesting for people who know nothing or very little or just saw WP credits being mentioned here and there, but don't really know what the program is really about. So seeing how it's unfolding and, what people are doing with this and how this is driving students to be involved into WordPress, we think that's pretty interesting.
How do you look for the speakers? Because you said it is all giggles until you have to choose. But do you just wait for the form to be filled in, or how does it work exactly?
Well, that's the actually only formal, like really fixed part of the application process, because all application have to come through the call for speakers form. So there's an formal application form that everybody that wants to speak at WordCamp Europe sends. We got a lot of application this year. I think we were over 400 applications. That's why it took us.
And so that means you choose only like 10% of people who...
Yeah.
This must have been a very hard job.
That's really the hardest part. Our friend and team participant, like one of the team persons this year, and we're very happy to have her, is Milana Zap, who is like one of the most famous names in WordPress, both in the community and in the documentation team. Great. It's still like we're still working with her, so it's still ongoing. But it's been especially interesting to have her with us because it really boosted the, the selection process specifically in the technical talks that were submitted, because that's one of the tricky parts every time, because a lot of applications sounds great in general, especially in the time of AI. But then part of the job as a team that has to select this thing is really read through the lines and tell what sounds good from what is actually good. Because we don't want to have something that sounds great on paper, then we pick somebody and the end result is meh. So we would like to really select something that is actually great. And so it was really challenging to choose 10% of the speakers that applied to speak. And so Milana, of all team, was specially, she said that really we could have done like a month of WordCamp technical presentations with the great things we got. So we hope we'll be eventually able to just showcase the best of what we received. That's the intent.
And how would you say you picked those best of the best? What was like the most important thing that you looked for while vetting the forms?
In general, I mean, I think this is something that spans across the whole application topics, because obviously we want to select something that is interesting, that it's in most cases even something actually workable. Like, people come to WordCamp not just because it's cool, it's in a nice place, it's all the community coming together, but it's also because it's a great chance to learn or dive deeper into topics and things you would like to learn more about. So we try to pick something that it's both informative or really goes beyond what local WordCamps and WordPress meetups usually get. And that it's also part of the challenge, and it's one of our selection criteria, because traveling to any WordCamp is an investment, but coming to WordCamp Europe is even more important, because it's in a different country every year. So for many people in the community, it's really an investment to go there. Like, it's not just let's just take a bus and go. So we want to make it really worth it to go there. So we try to raise the bar a little bit from general topics you would hear at local WordCamps, as good as they can be, which local WordCamps are great, but Europe, we think, should be like a step up. So this is both what we try to do and one of our selection criteria, really.
Yeah. And would you say you have to be a very experienced speaker to even apply for WordCamp Europe? Do you check on that when you vet the topics?
Yeah. Yes, we check that. I mean, you can, everybody can apply. Like, the bottom line is that everybody can apply, but being a WordCamp Europe, if somebody has seen the main room, like the main hall at the conference center in Krakow, would you put a speaker that has never spoken in front of a big audience right there?
I think that people might be very, very nervous.
It's a stage that I guess holds, like, I don't know about Krakow, but when what is it now, 4 years ago? The theater in Athens would hold concerts and operas. Like, it was 1,000 people main room. So we want to select speakers that can hold such a stage generally. And we also have the main stage, but also a smaller track. So we try to give the right space to everybody, but really anybody can apply. In general, we consider, especially for the main track, we consider experience. We consider really how good of a speaker somebody is, because we really want to deliver for people that really invest in coming to WordCamp Europe. So we want to make sure that their trip and efforts are well repaid.
Nice answer to the question. And now I have another question. This actually is very, very much dictated by the dragon, because he told
The
me
dragon.
that last year his friend, the unicorn, wanted to be a speaker and wasn't chosen. So this year, the unicorn simply resigned from applying at all. Was it wise? Is someone disqualified if they weren't chosen this year?
No, we are sorry for the unicorn, but being rejected from a WordCamp Europe doesn't mean that you're a bad speaker necessarily, and that most of all that you should not apply ever again to any WordCamp or WordCamp Europe in general. Like, brings me back to how hard it is to pick, because sometimes like we vote on all applications, and sometimes the difference is really point something in the vote average. So when we have to pick what really makes it to the program, sometimes it's really a close call between selection and not selection, and that's really painful.
So I guess if someone was not chosen like last year or this year, they simply can try again next year, because
Absolutely,
maybe they
yeah.
were so really close.
The team is made of many people. Like this year, we're 6. We try to make the speakers team generally not too big, because otherwise, even the voting process or coming to choices and decisions on topics would take forever. And it's
Yeah.
already a pretty lengthy process. But personally, it's also something that I take into account. I swear I remember who applied year after years. I've been in the speakers team since Athens 2023.
So you're a veteran then.
Where I was thrown into. I mean, in 2023, I was kind of shoved into the team because the team needed some help. And a year later, I was leading the speakers team because we were in Torino, Italy. So I was picked to be the speakers team lead. It was challenging, as I guess any Polish organizer this year, you feel the heat. Like you want to make sure that
Yes.
the event in your country is the best WordCamp yet.
Of course.
So, right. So, and especially in that case, the good and bad of the speakers team is that with, with the help of every other team, it all comes down to a program with speakers and topics. So that's the real core of WordCamp Europe. So we want to deliver every year.
When someone fills in the form to become a speaker, the team speakers in WordCamp Europe, what do you look for in that form when someone wants to be organizer and join the speakers team? Because not everyone can be Milana. If you don't know her, just check out her WordPress org profile. You will see probably all the badges there are. So,
Pretty much. And
so
cookies.
other than all the badges in the profile, what do you look for in people if they want to join your team?
Let me tell you a beautiful story. When I joined Athens, and then I was really like running around track in Athens, we had like the other huge piece of every WordCamp, but every WordCamp Europe in particular, which are volunteers. And one of the volunteers was my now friend Andri from Estonia, and he was a volunteer. So we got to see each other, have a little chat at the time, but really not get super deep into knowing each other. A year later, when I was picked to lead the speakers team, I got all the applications for the speakers team. And among the people that applied, I saw Andri.
So already known face.
Well, it's also something that it's one of the things you look for. Like anybody can apply to join any team, but in that case, it really was something I spotted right away, because it was like in the notes you can add in any application. he specifically said, I would like something like, I would really be happy to join the speakers team in particular. So I was like, okay, Andre, you're in. And
Yay.
yeah, so he's been in my team in Torino. He's been in the team in Basel with me last year. And guess what? He's leading the speakers team this year. It really tells you how important it can be to really be involved in WordCamp Europe, and how even starting as a volunteer can naturally, even without forcing things, can naturally build up your skills and confidence or preferences. Like, you might find out that volunteering with a specific team or having to work with some team at a WordCamp Europe really sparks your interest in something in particular. So in Andri's case, it was the speakers team. So when this year I applied to be part of the speakers team again, because it was not a granted fact that I would be selected to be part of the team again. And I got an email from Andri. I was like, Andri? Which Andri? So when I found out that it was our Andri that was leading the team, I was especially happy because he totally deserves it and he's doing a great job this year leading the team. And if you've been a team lead before, you double appreciate the effort and what it takes to lead the team. So big up to Andri for the work he's doing this year. Thank you, Andri.
Yay.
Yes.
And as it comes to the work that is done for the team during the months before the event, to me, it's pretty obvious. You have to reach out to eligible speakers. You have to prepare the forms and then read what is put into the form when people are signing up and so on. And then, of course, vote and decide and make all the hard work of choosing only 10%. And then during the event, do you have anything to do?
Oh, yeah. Well, during the event, first of all, we make sure that everything is running smoothly when it comes to speakers. Our speakers at the venue, did they show up in the green room on time? Are they on the track? Do they have somebody that's helping them move around the conference center? Do we have their gifts? Do they need water? Like this kind of things. Like when I was in Torino, like at the very end of my adventure as a team lead, the last hour was probably the longest hour of all.
Ooh, why?
Because we were waiting for the closing keynote. And the closing keynote speaker was nowhere to be found. And
Oops.
it didn't show up to the green room. It didn't show up on the Slack channel. And so we were like, where's the speaker? And like the keynote speaker, not just any other speaker. And so we were basically running around the whole venue in Torino, and he was sitting in second row on track 1.
Engaged person from the community.
Engaged person. When we spotted him, was like, oh yeah, I was just sitting here. I thought just ready to be next to the stage. I was like, cool. Next time, send a message, please.
By the way, and when we are ready to be next on the stage, there are also stage leaders, the people who tell a little anecdotes about the next speaker that will come up to the stage. Are you also the team who chooses those people, or how does it work? Do you know?
Yeah, that's a joint effort usually with the volunteers team, because even MCs apply. We like to like, our preference is to find somebody within the list of people that applied through the volunteers team, and if those are enough, cool. Otherwise, we have our little agenda with some MCs we like. We have some go-to MCs we like, and like known faces in the WordPress community, and MCs also chosen because they know the community, they know what WordCamp is, they are fun or interesting to have on stage. They don't lose it if something is not perfect, or they keep their cool because we are the only one knowing that somebody is scrambling behind the scenes, but the audience doesn't know. But having an MC that is keeping its cool and cracking jokes while the speaker is found also helpful. It's a big team effort, so that's what any WordCamp, but on a bigger scale, that's what WordCamp Europe is.
One question also as it comes to leading the scene and leading the people in the room, because normally during our local WordCamps, we often have questions just after the speech. And then right after it, we have people running with microphones and giving them to people to ask questions. And last year in Basel, we couldn't see that during WordCamp Europe. Will this be similar this year? That questions are not like right after the speech?
It depends. I guess it's something that we're still working on. Every year we like to test some things or iterate on things we did the last years, even based on feedback.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Basel, one of the feedback we had was that some speakers don't like to take questions on stage.
Huh?
Like not all speakers are into taking like questions out of the blue in front of a big audience. Somebody can throw a curveball or anything. Or some speakers can just prefer to use the whole time they have. Like the slot is 30 minutes. You can rush your presentation to 25 and take 5 minutes of questions. Or you have a big topic you want to use all the time you have. And in that case, you prefer to take the questions everywhere, anywhere, or have
Mm-hmm.
like welcome people to stop you and say hi if they then see you around the venue. So we tried to experiment with that a little bit. So we gave speakers the choice to choose to take or not take questions. And the experiment last year was that after the presentation, speakers were invited to go to an area which was called WP Café, WP Connect. Every year it's a new name. And yeah, WP Cafe's speakers were available for like an hour, half an hour after their session to take questions. And so in that case, it was easier to ask questions, easier to answer.
Yeah, and besides, I think also for the person who asks the question, it might be super nice to actually be able to really talk to the person and not
Yeah.
just one
Yeah.
question. Have I answered your question? And then like, yes, and the
Yeah,
microphone
I
is gone.
mean, totally, totally. You can take your time. If there's not a queue behind you, you can even ask more questions. Like it's just, you get to know a speaker. The speaker gets to interact with somebody that really appreciated their presentation. So it's really every year we tried something a little different to see what sticks. And some experiments are sticking and some will change next year, or whoever will be in the speakers team next year will improve on what we did this year.
Nice. So I guess for this year, this decision is still cooking, but the agenda is almost ready. So can you tell me a little bit more about the general topics that we can expect during this year? Because I already know we had lots and lots of developers and that we will have something with WordPress Connect and educational track. Do we have lots of AI, lots of design, lots of e-commerce? Tell me, tell me.
Well, there's definitely going to be the good amount, a fair amount of AI, because AI is everywhere. Personally, I'm not a big fan of AI, but don't tell anybody.
I want.
Thank you. Let's keep it just between the two of us.
Definitely.
Thanks. So there's going to be a bit of that, but also having somebody who's not too hip on AI in the team balances somebody who's totally into that. So we challenge each other and we pick what's really worth it.
Hmm.
And there's going to be a bit of that. There's going to be business talks, SEO, accessibility. community. There's really, we try to really not do something that is just too focused on a single topic necessarily, but we like the idea that somebody will find lots of interesting things, but maybe something that is really special to them among the things we selected. So that's our hope.
Yay. So this year, WordCamp again will be for all people interested in WordPress, not only developers, not only marketing people, not only designers. Everyone probably will find something interesting for themselves. And what about you? Who are you in the WordPress world? What do you do outside of organizing WordCamp Europe?
Outside of organizing WordCamp Europe, I'm, first of all, in the WordPress community. I'm part of the WordPress community even during the rest of the year. I'm mostly active, as you can spot in some things over here.
So for the people who are listening, he was showing me the sign of the polyglots team.
Yes, because every year, if possible, I'll try to steal something during.
And last year, you apparently stolen the plate from the polyglot table.
It would have gone into recycling. So we give a house to a nice polyglot team placeholder.
Yeah.
So
a better usage than in the trash can.
So yes, definitely. So I'm part of the Italian polyglots team. I'm a GTE, which means one of the people in the Italian community that edits and approves translation for everything WordPress, like core, themes, plugins, yada yada.
That's very important role because you make it much less frustrating to wait and wait and wait until your translation is finally approved. So thank you.
That's another challenging thing, especially in a world where now you get somebody that translates everything with the AI without checking the glossary and submits 700 strings you're supposed to edit. That's not how that works.
Again, lots of work.
Again. Yeah, so it's yet another reason why I'm really a fan of AI, but let's keep it a secret.
Of course.
Polyglots team organizing other WordCamps. I'm also part of the speakers team for a change at WordCamp Torino, coming up early May in Torino.
Still a chance to go before WordCamp
Yeah, still
Europe.
a chance to go. Please come to WordCamp Torino. It's nice people, nice talks. Also, the program is already out, and we have some Italian food. We're close to our favorite pizzeria in Torino, so we got it all. And yes. And outside of the WordPress community, I'm still involved in WordPress. I'm I'm a freelance web designer, and I'm also support agent for Cloud 86, I can say, which is a pretty cool Dutch hosting company.
Nice.
And
so
that's where, busy bee. So that's where I'm pretty busy during the year. So in all my spare time, I'm also part of the speakers team at WordCamp Europe.
Yay! And those were all my questions and all the Dragon's questions. Do you have anything to add, or I forgot to ask you, or you remembered something that you also want to share at the end of the episode?
The only thing I would add is really invite everybody to come to Krakow and join WordCamp Europe 2026, because it's going to be great. And at all levels, be part of the WordPress community. Like, check out your local meetup, your local WordCamps, because this is where the magic starts, where connections are made, where you meet people that sometimes you only saw in Slack, and now they're full 3D glory in front of you.
Yeah.
And WordCamp Europe is really a place where, like, you run around between talks and you're like, oh, here's my favorite developer. Like, I use your plugin. You're cool. Like, this kind of things. Like, show the love. Like, tell the people that do things you use, you enjoy, that you like what they did, you appreciate. their efforts. The people in the community that run the community are doing this for everybody. So, giving out some props from time to time is really nice. And at WordCamp Europe, we really have a chance to say hi and thank you if you want to a lot of people. So that's one of the really beautiful things at every WordCamp Europe.
Yeah, absolutely true. Thank you very much
Thank
for
you, Kasia.
answering all my questions and the dragon questions.
Yes.
And I don't think I have to summarize this episode better than you already did. You, the listener or the watcher, just come to WordCamp Europe, buy your tickets, connect to the community, connect to the speakers. Speeches will be absolutely for everyone, not only the people who are well seasoned, but also the people who are just starting with WordPress. And especially, sorry, I'm from Poland, so I will say it, just especially if you are from Poland, just come. It's so close by. This occasion won't happen anytime soon. So yeah, this is worth trying, especially that speakers there are really in the community and you can simply grab them on the corridor and talk to them. They are not like superstars who only stay in a closed off room and come with their bodyguards. No, you can catch them, you can talk to them, and you can tell them that you actually love the work that they do in the community and in the WordPress world. So come.
Yeah. You might
And
even end up dancing with them at the after party. Who knows?
exactly, the after party.
The after party. We also have an after party.
Yes,
So things happen at WordCamp Europe.
exactly. Just come. And of
Yes.
course, see you in the next episode. Thank you very much.